Thank you, Sanjay, for saying yes. It's a pleasure having Monster on board this event as a sponsor. It's indeed an honor because Monster is one of the leading companies in the world. I won't go into much detail regarding Monster itself. Pretty much the whole world knows who Monster is, so no need for introduction. But if you could introduce yourself, that would be nice. Could you tell us something more about yourself?
Um, my name is Sanjay and I look after Monster's business interest in India, Southeast Asia and Middle East.
How long have you been with Monster?
I joined Monster in 2001, wherein they had just started in the Indian market. So I was among the first 7 or 10 employees who joined Monster. And thereafter, we expanded our footprint not only in the Indian market, but also in the Southeast Asia and the Gulf market.
How long has Monster been in the Gulf?
We've been there for close to 4 years now.
It's been in operation for 4 years and it's been growing, of course,
That's
quite a bit. Are you happy with the growth?
Absolutely, absolutely. So when we looked at Gulf, I think it was a very strategic decision from our side to enter formally into the market. Prior to that, we had been servicing Gulf through our Monster US website because, as you know, Gulf is a large market for expat population. So, and Monster being the only global player in the category. So we have been servicing Gulf region, helping companies here to attract people from other parts of the world. And post that, when we saw the activity in the region itself grow and the need for local professionals moving up, that is the time that we thought of starting our operations here, going deep into the market to understand the aspirations of people, going into more details to understand what challenges companies are facing, and thereafter every year has been a kind of a learning and success for us.
Fair enough. Could you, based on what you just said about you are very aware and you've learned from the challenges companies have faced, including Monster itself, what has been Monster's experience with technology as far as the HR and recruitment industry is concerned?
It's a very interesting question actually, because on one hand, Monster is a pioneer in product and technology in HR space, and the other hand, we may be just a media property, right? So the marriage of technology with our business is, I think, the essence. And one of the core values of Monster is to innovate relentlessly. As you know, we are a pioneer in the category. We started e-recruitment space way back in 1994. And we were among the first few websites that got listed on World Wide Web. And today we operate out of more than 55 countries. And product and technology has been our strength. We invest a lot in terms of continuous research and development, analyzing how businesses are changing, how recruitment practices are changing within the organization, and what kind of products and tools that we should offer to both job seekers as well as organization, so that they can transact business effectively, looking at both in terms of speed, efficiencies as well as cost efficiencies.
Has it been an up and down curve when it comes to using technologies? Because I understand that, especially when you're starting out, everybody claims to have the best technologies or the best solutions.
Yeah.
So how has Monster's experience been in terms of choosing the right technology?
See, if I go back about 10 years or 12 years, there we had to educate people as to how the products and services needs to be used, how and we still give a lot of training to people. But if you see in the last 5 to 7 years, the business has undergone a change. The workforce diversity has undergone a tremendous change. Today you have a large workforce which is fairly young. Technology is their natural habitat, right? So the growth of social media, the growth of internet, etc. So what has happened is it has also impacted organizations, and it has impacted functions within the organizations, and hence HR cannot be left untouched, because somewhere they are not only dealing with people and employees within the organization, but they're also dealing with prospective candidates and employees. So I think it is more of a business pressure, it is more of a business need and demand, which is forcing HR to look at innovative tools, technology, so that from a competitive side, they can be in touch. from an employer branding side, because their prospective candidates are all technology savvy. Hence, you cannot be pushing papers within the organization. And I think one of the biggest change that has happened is no longer the role of HR is just payroll management. I think the role of HR has undergone a change. And one of my favorite point of discussion is a lot of people talk about HR moving into the boardroom. However, I feel the boardroom has moved into HR, right? So I think this is the biggest paradigm shift that we have seen, and obviously HR is looking at various tools, technologies, products, so that their own efficiencies can be looked at, and secondly, they can support the business better. Because if as an organization you want to be successful, I think one of the most differentiating parameter would be people, right? So I think from that perspective, HR is looking at technology far more proactively and in a sensitive manner as compared to what they used to look at maybe 5 years ago.
Fair enough. Now, given your experience in the Middle East market as well, your remit includes the Middle East and the Gulf. Could you tell us, elaborate on to make it more specific, probably one major opportunity and one major obstacle facing the integration of HR with technology in, let's say, large enterprises and small to medium enterprises?
So I think I will talk of the opportunity first, because I think this market throws in more opportunities, and whenever the challenges are there, I think people are very open to in terms of how these challenges can be addressed. Now, internet is growing. If you look at UAE market, the internet penetration is about 75%. Right. So I think there is a big opportunity in front of HR as to how to look at internet effectively, how to look at their own corporate website if they have one, and if they don't have, then whether they should be having that or not. People who have it, how they can empower their website with better tools and technology, so that I as a job seeker, when I go, I get updated information. I come to know about your organization. I come to know about the opportunities that you have to offer, and from an organization side, it's a great tool to position oneself as an employer of choice. So I think from the gamut of it, not only in terms of the engagement and relationship, also in terms of what your organization stands for, so that people, your prospective candidates, look at you proactively. So I think that is a whole gamut that we have to look at, which is using online medium for employer branding, using product and tools so that the engagement with the candidates can be increased multifold. Number 3, how an HR department can be more response oriented, and what can be driven by technology and where human intervention is required. So I think from a seeker attraction, from sourcing, there are things that technology can possibly look at. The other thing which is come up in a big way post the tough phase that we had in the last 2 years, I think the organizations have become very choosy in terms of what talent they are looking at. A round hole and a round peg, more of a scenario, very selective, right? And when I say selective, it doesn't mean selective in terms of discriminating versus education or from where you have come, but selective in terms of skills matching to the job requirements. And one area that comes up in a big way is online testing initiative, right? Because this is something which can really help organizations before interacting with the candidate, how closely the candidate comes to one's requirement. So I think this is a big area. On the challenges front, somewhere we have analyzed, and this is not only true for Gulf but other markets that I manage. HR has been late adopters of technology somehow, and I think somewhere it has to do with the entire education system, wherein are we preparing HR professionals with the classical HR approach, or are we integrating the newer methods, systems and technologies which are coming up, wherein the role of HR is changing more towards business and just not towards the classical HR roles and functions that they would be doing. So I think that's a big kind of again we can term it as an opportunity because this is addressable. It is not something that we cannot address it. But yes, but currently this is the kind of challenge wherein the understanding of technology, not by all but few, may be an issue. Right, so that may delay the decision-making process, that may delay the understanding as to how technology can be integrated with HR function and hence post to the various business functions within the organization.
One of the key things that you mentioned was the slow adaptation. So, how do you feel that some of the newer organizations, smaller SMEs, can overcome this hindrance, which is adopting new technologies? So you mentioned, for example, that some of the companies, or relatively few companies, are early adopters. A lot of them choose to wait and see, and now you see a surge. So what can you say to smaller companies in terms of for a large company, you can understand that they have a very strong website, they've got a social media campaign, but a small company, let's say 30 people, 40 people, which is a more boutique company, that would not be very high up on their scale. So what would you tell them?
See, my only recommendation would be look at your business, look at your competitive landscape, and then evolve a strategy for yourself. Right? Most of the things today that the business looks at, it looks at a couple of things. One is where we are operating, whom we are competing with, what's my vision over the next 5 years. I'm not talking of 10, 20-year vision, right? And based on that, how you will possibly look at servicing your clients in the most optimal way, right? Now, this could be your B2B customers, this could be your B2C customers, right? So hence, look at in your own way. We don't have to look at what large organizations are doing and hence you need to do the same thing. For us, it could be as simple as, for example, Monster works with organizations in the Gulf region, which are just 5-member organizations, right? Wherein they are using internet as a sourcing and attraction strategy, and then possibly looking at how their cost can be minimized. Because I think in a small organization, sensitiveness towards cost is very high. Right? So I think technology can serve a big purpose there, and we've already seen the adoption of Monster services, tools, technology by a large section of SMEs in the region. So I think look at one step at a time, and my recommendation would be analyze your business and answers will evolve automatically. Something could be uniform which you can cut across a particular sector or size and shape of organizations, but some could be very unique to you, right? So I think that is what is the key.
You mentioned, of course, the considered experience that you have. What would your advice be to companies which are looking at multiple technologies? Now, let's say the company is ready, they want to invest in technology in the HR sector, and that technology, and by that I don't mean just recruitment, I'm talking about recruitment, compensation and benefits, management, succession planning, all of those things. So technology nowadays covers all of those aspects. How would a company that's looking to invest in that, what are the things they need to look at when planning to go into that?
One is look at your own organization structure, geographical diversity, cultural diversity that you have. Because when you are an organization which is operating in multiple countries and you have nationals from various countries working for you, you need to have a certain code of ethics, operations, values, systems, etc. And that is a role that HR obviously has to undertake and conduct, right? So look at that. Look at various SBUs or business units within your organizations, because each one would have a different need. For example, an organization could be in construction on one hand, and the same time could be in IT services. So the challenges of both the businesses would be very different. So when you are looking at technologies or systems or processes, you need to analyze the businesses very closely. Third is, when you are looking at technologies, the first thing that you need to answer once yourself is, what is the engagement level that you want with your employees, right? And when I say engagement level, there is a certain need of communication from HR to their team, and obviously there has to be a two-way communication. So how are you engaging them to give feedback to you, right? So technology again can play a role. And obviously the way we are moving, it is a system of which I call as co-creation, right? Wherein you are engaging employees at all levels, including the leadership level, and the ideas and the consensus that is so coming that you take it and define the next step forward. And then you look outside, okay, wherein you look at your own candidates who you want to engage with, where are they? And what media are they consuming? How can we engage with them your own website, as I stated earlier as well? I think it is one of the most important strategy or tool for an HR professional, because this is the face of organization to the outside public as well as to your internal employees, because a lot of people use intranet very effectively, right, in terms of what are the values, what do you stand for, etc. So I think once you look at all these aspects, you will be able to define the bed on which your technology and system should be placed. And so technology to me is not the end of the journey, right? It's the beginning, because it keeps evolving. Your needs keeps changing. Your businesses keeps changing, right? But I think that's the basic thing that you need to define, and then continuously look at the aspirations, the needs, the changes in the outside market as well as internally, and keep on integrating various modules as and when the need.
Now, Monster has chosen to be involved with this event, the HR Technology Summit in MENA. Could you elaborate, number one, on what you feel this event can add to the industry and benefit the industry? And secondly, what should HR professionals come prepared for? So we have a lot of leading speakers on this, but the main thing is that it's one thing to have speakers speak, but also your own preparation to come to learn and to ask the right questions. So what would you think is what Monster sees this event as a benefit? And secondly, what should people be asking at this event in front of the HR leaders in the region?
Well, it's a very interesting question, because what we have spoken over the last 5-7 minutes is one thing is technology has touched every human, right? So I'm not talking from an HR perspective, I'm not talking from an organization structure perspective, but every human is touched by technology. Hence, this event is an excellent forum wherein people who are domain experts can showcase as to how technology can be an aid and help to their businesses and how it can be integrated. Because sometimes when you read about it, or when you go through the website and the content, it appears confusing to a common. I think what this event will do is translating technology in a simpler way, so that people, the audience, the users can understand it, related to their business, and hence see how it can be adopted. My recommendation to the HR people would be come with an open mind. Come with a mind so that you can challenge your current systems and processes, and extremely be open to ask people there in terms of specific questions to their organization or their industry, the challenges that they are facing. So I think if we can have a two-way dialogue, the end objective would be met.
In closing, is there any message Monster would like to give to our audience?
Monster is looking forward to a very fruitful and strong partnership with the HR fraternity and businesses in general. We would love to learn some of the challenges that they are facing, so that we can also go to the drawing board and look at what kind of products and services that we should come up with, maybe in a 1-year horizon or a 2-year horizon. So we are very excited with this partnership and look at working closely.
Sanjay, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I'm sure the answers you've given will be quite beneficial to the HR community at large, especially in the Middle East, where it's a very dynamic environment, and as you said, it's evolving. And with the growth of new emerging markets like Oman and Saudi Arabia, a sudden spurt in growth, I'm sure HR will be of prime importance at this point in time. They would have learned from their predecessors. Thank you very much again, and I hope to see you at the